Hello everybody, what up? Welcome to this video. Today we're gonna talk about the do's and don'ts while doing Erasmus. This is gonna be the first video that I speak English in my channel. I just wanted to do this so that everybody would be able to understand it. So first of all, I would like to start by saying that I have done 2 Erasmus so far. One of them was in Portugal, the other one was in Poland. But no worries, this video will not be specified to these particular countries. These topics are going to be for the general sense when it comes to Erasmus. And of course, when you do 2 Erasmus, you collect some data and experience. So in this video, I'm going to break down and explain each of the topics. I'm going to give my own experiences and the ones that I've seen and heard along the way. And I will try to make this video as efficient as possible for you guys. In the first part of this video, I will break down the do's, and in the second part we will be talking about the don'ts. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first topic is do travel smart. Not only travel, but you should travel smart. I want to make a separate video actually about the tips and hints that I would give when it comes to traveling smart, but in this video we're not going to be going so deep, but I'm just going to say first, you must travel, because this is one of the best opportunities that you will ever have in your life for traveling. There are some reasons that I say this. One of them is for the students who do not hold any of the European Union passports, because you never know when you will get the chance to go to Europe again in the future. So when you have the chance, just take it. Secondly, you will have a lot of other friends of yours that you will be able to enjoy your travels. Of course, traveling alone is a thing, and I have done it many times and it's so fun, but traveling with your friends, especially with your Erasmus friends, is something different. And another thing that I want to mention is when you're in Erasmus, in general, students have a lot of free time. Of course, like there can be some exceptions, but in general, students have a lot of free time. So since you will have a lot of free time, it will be easier for you to travel. And I'm encouraging all of you to travel as much as you can afford. Because like, yes, you will do other kinds of things too, but as I said, this is one of the best opportunities for you to do this. Next up, do build international friendships. Look, you will have all of your family and friends back in your house, in your country, but you have to be aware that this is a foreign country. This is somewhere new. This is somewhere different. And there are a lot of new opportunities. And there will be a lot of other Erasmus students around you, because you will be also an Erasmus student and your environment will be full of Erasmus students. So this is the perfect opportunity for you to make international friends. You cannot spend your time with your fellow citizens for too long, because as I said, you have them in your country, and believe me, if you don't die, you will go back to your country. So make those international relationships. There are a lot of benefits that this can get you. For instance, you will improve your language, and you will keep learning and improving yourself, because probably the person that you're talking to is coming from a different culture, whole different culture. So improve yourself by learning from the different cultures, and it's fun. And also you will have foreigner friends who will be able to come and visit you in your own country, and you will be able to visit them in their countries. This is a huge privilege, I'm telling you. And also you will be building networks that can be useful for your life, for example, your career. And let's be honest, having many foreign friends is cool. Next topic is do improve your language. And what I mean by language is, of course, English. My dear friend, this is one of the best opportunities that you can get to improve your English. And everybody knows, I hope everybody knows, that speaking English is so essential, and you just cannot let this opportunity slip away. Try to learn and use new words, try using new slangs, new phrases, and try to understand people from different cultures, from different countries, and try to understand the way that they are speaking. Personally, I would recommend for you to study a bit theoretically too, because this way you will be able to learn the things in theory and you will be able to practice them in real life too. You can watch videos on YouTube for these daily speaking tips, and you can also follow the pages on Instagram or TikTok for the same matter. And don't be afraid of speaking. You just have to keep speaking. And I'm not saying that you should be the annoying guy who wants the spotlights on himself all the time, but you should try to speak as much as you can and make this Erasmus worth your time. Make a difference in your language between it is at the beginning and at the end. Next one. Most likely, as a young person and as a student, you haven't made a lot of money yet, and probably you are kind of inexperienced when it comes to managing your money. By the way, I like to say that if you can save some money before going Erasmus, it will be awesome, because Erasmus is one of the places that spending money is at its best. So simply, it is what it is. The more money you have, the better your Erasmus kind of is. But my actual point is, as I said, probably you haven't made a lot of money so far and you don't know how to manage your finances. So if you're in Erasmus, you will have your grant too, and now it's the time that you learn how to handle your money and how to allocate your funds for the different things. Yes, there will be some times that you will not care about the money, but I encourage you to make some calculations in detail when you spend your money, because besides the fact that we are trying to save money, we are also trying to learn how to manage our finances and money. Okay, if there is one thing that will separate a simple Erasmus experience from a life-changing one, would be, it's a bit classical, yes, but do push yourself out of your comfort zone. Of course, I'm not talking about jumping off the cliff or doing bungee jumping or this kind of crazy stuff, unless it's your cup of tea. But I'm talking about the moment where your brain says, nah, you know what, not this time, I'm not doing it. But then something inside of you says, you know what, no, we're doing it, this is the time of my life. These moments have a lot of potential, believe me. Don't think the only good things are gonna be happening from the things that you have planned to do. What is right to do is acknowledging that these kinds of moments have a lot of potential. So you say yes to that last minute trip, join that random student events, talk to the group that even if you don't know anybody, try to speak the language that you barely know. It's gonna be awkward, of course, but guess what? That awkward moment might lead to one of your best memories. And look, as Erasmus students, of course, we want to have fun, make beautiful and unforgettable memories, but also if we are here, we also want to grow, improve, be a different person. But growth doesn't happen when you're cozy and chill. It happens when you're nervous, but you still go for it. That's where the confidence is built. That's how you go back to your family, go back to your country as a different person. And I want to say, you didn't come all the way here to feel safe, to feel cozy. You already have that in your home, but you came here to evolve, to become a different person. So say yes, take the shot, go for it. You will never get the time back, you know? Okay, we are back after some technical problems, but we are okay. Now it's time for the last topic of this do's part. For this, I want to show you a note that I wrote to myself when I came back from my first Erasmus from Portugal. When you have a memory, value it very much. Know that it will end, but live it in such a way that you won't regret it when you remember it. Use these memories as motivation to move on to new adventures. Wow, I was down bad. Yeah, I needed to write this to myself because I was in a deep depression and I was down bad and I needed to get myself out of the pit. So I wrote this note to myself and I hung it on my PC table so that I would be able to see it whenever I wanted or needed. And yes, I told this to myself, but the same applies for you too. First of all, you need to know that whatever you're going through, whether it's bad or good, it's all gonna come to an end, because it's called Erasmus at the end of the day. Nothing will last forever and you will miss your Erasmus so much. So value every moment that you have so much. Okay, now we are done with the do's, so let's get down to the don'ts. So the first topic is don't stay at home. We kind of talked about this in the previous segment, but still, I think this should has its own part. Look, there will be some times that you will find yourself while watching a whole Netflix series or playing a game for too long. This is so common. I even found myself in this situation several times, but try not to stuck there for too long, because as we talked about it, the real experience is not in your room, it's outside. This is one of the biggest mistakes that students make, because this way you just miss a lot of things. But I'm not saying that you should not stay inside ever, because going out a lot might not be everyone's cup of tea. And if you go out and do something so oftenly, you might get exhausted eventually. But you need to know that you are here for a limited amount of time and you have to make the most of it. You want to make the most of it. For the second, don't ignore your classes. Some people prefer not to care about their classes, but I would advise you to care about them and just show up in your classes and just don't leave any classes and any discipline behind. Because as an Erasmus student, most likely you will not face a lot of difficulties passing your classes. just because you're an Erasmus student. Mostly professors don't force Erasmus students so much, so I think it won't be so difficult for you to pass your classes, come on. And call me a nerd, but you cannot tell me that your school and education is not the part of your Erasmus. Because on the paper, your school is the primary reason that you're doing Erasmus. Of course, we keep counting the other reasons, but still, I think it would be some kind of foolish act to leave your schoolwork out. Next up, don't wait things to happen. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of expectations and hopes and dreams about your Erasmus, which you should have them, but solely having these expectations and hopes doesn't make them come true. So you have to take responsibility and do some work, whether it's starting a new hobby, joining a group, traveling somewhere that you've been wanting to go for so long. For example, for me, that one was Allianz Arena in Munich. I've been wanting to go there since my elementary school years. Or you might want to build some networks. You can't expect people to approach and offer you things. You need to be the one approaching people, whatever your reason is. So my point is, nothing you expect just magically aligns. Even if it's uncomfortable, you gotta take action. Cause trust me, Erasmus time flies. One moment you're arriving, next thing you know, you're packing. Next up, don't get so homesick. Look, I get it. You are far from home, far from your routines, far from the people that you used to seeing every day. That can hit you really hard sometimes, especially in the first weeks. I know this very well because I've been there in both of my Erasmus. I think I was over it quicker in the second one. So you might miss your mom's food, your friends back home, your partner, your pet and everything. But here's the thing. If you spend your Erasmus constantly looking back, you will miss what's in front of you, and that would be a huge waste. Home will always be there, but you cannot make the most of your Erasmus if you keep thinking about your hometown. Instead of scrolling your old life from Instagram or Google Photos, just make new ones here that you will be scrolling when you go back home. So feeling homesick is normal, but you can't let it control your time here. And next up, don't invest in expensive stuff. Invest in memories. I mean, come on, nobody's gonna remember what kind of watch you wore or how fancy your shoes were, but they and you will remember that random trip to Prague, the kind of dessert that you ate in Figueroa de Foz made out of motor oil, the way you dunked that ball in the fly park, the time that you spent in that festival with your besties, the surprise birthday celebration for your friend, that insane food that you tried even though you didn't know what it was. The list goes on. Make an Erasmus that you'll be able to make such a even better list. Look, I'm not saying don't buy anything, but just don't blow your budget on material useless stuff that you won't even be able to carry back home. For example, some people like to buy these magnets or other kinds of souvenirs wherever they go, but to be honest, I am paying 5 euros to a random magnet, okay? Of course, I respect the choice, but I just think that I can spend my money on more valuable things. And I think this should be the mentality. So yeah, my main point is spend less on things, more on moments. And the last but not the least one is don't ignore your official paperwork. I know it can be boring and confusing and everything, but let me tell you this. If you mess this part up, it can ruin whole your Erasmus experience. We're talking about visas, residence permit, university, course approvals, health insurance, learning agreement. These are not later problems. These are now problems. And they don't care if you forgot something, you know? So I recommend you to make a checklist and put everything that you have to do in the checklist, and you will be crossing on them or putting X marks as you complete each of them, or you can set reminders to yourself. And that's all I have for today. I hope you liked the video. I hope this video will help you to have a better Erasmus experience. I have other video ideas in my mind, for example, as I said, giving you the tips for the smart travel. So stay tuned, because in this channel, who knows what kind of bangers that we'll have. Okay, thanks a lot for joining the video. Take care.